Well, good morning, everyone. So glad you guys could be on with us. This is our Maui kickoff call. So we're all super excited that you're on, that you're here. If you're catching the recording, it's fabulous also. So I just wanted to kick off really quick before we delve into all the juicy things, to remind everybody to take this momentum group seriously. Like all of you that are requesting and game for being in this group are all in. Like that's what you're telling us by being part of this. And so we are super proud of you guys, and we're super excited to be able to teach what we have learned over the years. I know for some of you, this is your very first time that you've done a Maui Momentum group. Others of you have been around a while and maybe have done some of our other challenge groups like this. So it is worth it to go all in with this, to pre-decide that you're doing it. You're not going to quit before the end of it. So I remember Jessica Heffley saying, if you work this like a business, it will pay you like a business. And I remember that giving me so much hope and excitement, because I knew that if I took the action, the results would follow, right? And so I just want to encourage you guys to have fun with it, get excited. If you need to chat with your family about just like delegating some things or some evenings, or having some time that you can really tap in and get the things done, do it, because it is well worth your time. You're going to learn as you go, and we're just super excited. So this week is your actual week to finish the list of 10. So if some of you go-getters have already finished your list of 10, go back through, and anything that you're able to take more action on, because I know some of those things are kind of a one and done type item. Others of them are, Angie taking a picture. Others of them are things that you could be repeating this week. So we wanted to give everyone that joined it towards the end of last week time to get their list of 10 done. So we are going to go ahead and delve in. We have a couple of announcements. Let me tease a couple of things. So first of all, I know everybody is we're in that middle season of time for the Punta Cana trip. Okay. Leaders Retreat is coming up again in February, and we want all of you guys earning that. Okay. So we're kind of in that middle zone where it's a little bit easy to kind of rest on your laurels, not really feel the pressure of end of month or end of contest. But I want to encourage you guys to tap in like it's the end of the month. Tap in like it's the end of the contest, because everybody's going to be running like New Year's Eve night, right? Because it'll be the end of the contest, end of the year. It'll be exciting, all the things. But I'm going to encourage you to treat each week like as a benchmark. Like have a benchmark for yourself, so you're running, you're gunning for any particular goal, even if it's just one single intention. Like maybe it's the intention to sign one person this week. All right, whatever that is, make it happen. And I promise you, with the right activity, you can make things happen. Right? Often we just allow ourselves to get distracted because we can. Okay, really quick. We have Black Friday coming up. That's going to be launching on the 20th. So pop a little star on your calendar. So reminder for that. Also, I am hosting a Silver and Six chat this week. It's super like spur of the moment. It's just something I was gleaning from some stuff that Trisha Rieger was sharing. She spoke at Leaders Retreat with some really amazing tips for retention and growing your team. And so this is a little duplication action that I'm taking. And I don't mind if you guys have people that want to make $300 this month, if you want to add them into that chat. So if you're not in that chat and you want to be, and or you have people on your team that want to be in that, just my caution is don't just go add people because you want them to go silver. Make sure you ask them first if that's something that they want to tap into this week, before you add them. So just a little reminder. And Angie's going to tease and tell about something here at the end of the call, about something that we're prepping for December 4th. So keep your eyes and mark your little calendar for a challenge group that we have coming up. So reminder, everything that you're doing for this Maui Momentum is going to help you earn Punta Cana. Okay. And it is worth it. It is so exciting. And we're really glad to be leading everybody through this. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Lisa. So I'm so proud of all of you guys popping in on the welcome post that Angie put up, and lots of fears, right? Lots of fears. So we felt like it would be worth chatting through those today as we kick off our Maui group. I remember years ago, we hosted a call specifically where we talked about fears. I can dredge that back up for those of you that want to listen to it, because it was full of a lot of really wonderful things. But we just felt like it would be nice to be in a live space and talk through, because the fears are common to all of us. If you don't have fears at some level, like, are you even human? So we just want to normalize that it's not uncommon to have fears and to still deal with fears. Jess and I still do. We were talking to this morning about different fears that pop up for us, but the key is that we're not operating from those and we're not dwelling on them. We're giving ourselves new thoughts to think. So Lisa, I'm going to kick it over to you. You can take it away.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. First of all, I want to say the first Maui Momentum Challenge group that I did, I remember it was several years ago, and it was before I actually was able to go, right? I was working towards it. And I remember being so stressed to be in the group. And Amy and Angie probably remember this because we had to order the similar things we've asked you guys to do. But Jessica had specifics and you had to email her a certain way. And I was like, I'm doing it wrong. And I'm a rule follower. But I remember thinking, it doesn't matter what I need to do. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to cross every T, dot every I, because I want to be able to make it to Maui. And it was actually a couple of those that I did in order for me to get there. But what Megan just said is so vital for us to all remember as we delve into fears, is that as we are doing all the things that we've asked for, the challenges that we're going to be putting out, that we're doing, that are already out, that's going to move the needle forward in our businesses so that we can go to Punta Cana, that our numbers look different and that the goals are going to be met. So as far as fears go, I'm a pastor's wife, and with that comes your life is kind of under a microscope, so to speak. And have you guys ever heard that people don't like network marketing? It's not real popular, right? So I was actually had my brother here, he's from Atlanta, and he mentioned something about network marketing last night. And I like hit him in the back. He was like kind of joking about it. And I said, hey, hello, what are you talking about? And then we laughed. He goes, oh, not the way you do it, but the way exactly, right? It's the old way that other people have done it, and Plexus does it the way it should be done, but rarely is, right? But anyways, just thinking about the fears and the people that I had to have meetings. My husband and I had to sit down because I had people actually say, we want you to stop doing what you're doing. Give up your business. And I remember my husband looked at me and he said in this meeting, and I don't think you were in that meeting, Amy, right? Because Amy and I have worked in ministry for years together, and same thing for her. And so my husband looked at me and he said, do you want to give up your business? And I was on the road to Emerald and I'm thinking, no way. And I looked at him and I said, no. He said, she's not going to give up her business. And those people left the church. And so it's not something that's easy, but I felt like everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to honor the Lord in it. But here's the one thing. Years ago, I was dealing with a fear. Fear has seemed to be the thing that has plagued me in my life at different times. And it was this one fear was, we had two daughters and we wanted another child. We were praying for a son. And I remember I wanted to have this baby, but I had this fear that I was going to die during childbirth. I mean, how silly that would seem, right? I had already had two babies, one natural, one by cesarean, but I'm like, I'm going to be fine. And I remember I had a Christian dear sister in the Lord that just shared with me. She just said, you need to do the opposite of what the fear is telling you to do. And that one piece of advice I have been able to use in my life in every situation. And so we had two more children, two sons, and they have been a huge blessing in our life. And I think about that in my Plexus business. And I want to share with you that, like Megan just said, I have not been delivered from all of the fears. I go through a season where I won't be fearful in one area, but I sometimes will be fearful in another area. And it's like a buffeting, right? And the Lord has allowed me to deal with fears, and it has helped me to grow in my faith. And it has also caused me to have to do things that are hard and uncomfortable, because we can do hard things. And that is a common saying that we hear people, do hard things. It's actually true. And Plexus, like any other job, is work. And sometimes the hard thing is the thing that you're afraid of doing. And so I just want to tell you, I'll put it out there every time I make a post about the business. You can be rest assured that I have struggled before I have made that post because of my position in the church. And I know that, and I have to just say, I'm going to do it scared, as long as I'm doing it and with a heart, because I have to be able to say, okay, God, I'm doing this with the right heart and motive. I've looked at this. But even if someone that doesn't like me, we all have haters. We just don't know most of them, right? We have people that probably can't stand us. But are they the ones paying our bills? Are they the ones that have the goals? Are they the ones that will stand before the Lord one day? No, it's me. And so as long as I can do that with a pure heart, I want to be able to say to the Lord, I did this in obedience to you for your glory. But when I'm doing that for the Lord, most of the time, it's going to be scared. It's going to be doing the hard thing. Whenever we have goals, it is not going to be easy. Look at the people that achieve these huge goals with athletics. No matter what area they are, it's an area where they've given their lives over to, and with their skill, with their time. It's no different with network marketing. We can look at people and say they've had good luck. They've signed the golden person. No, actually that may be true. They may have signed people that have influence and that grow their teams. But I will tell you, rest assured, they have done things in spite of being afraid. And so as much as I prayed through my life, Lord, deliver me from this fear. And I do have, there are times and seasons where it's easier for me to post different things. But for the most part, it is something that will pop up, and I have to make the decision to do the opposite of what that fear is telling me to do. And so I just did it again, talking about this slim down challenge that we're going to be talking about at the end of this. I made a post, and it's going to be good. You have to push through the fear. You can do hard things, and you got to do it scared. So that's my tip. Melody is going to share from her heart to help us. Take it away, Melody.
Hey, thanks, Lisa. Okay, I just want to say a few things and just assure you that this has been something I really struggled with too in my whole life. So not even talking Plexus, just my whole life. It has been a besetting sin. And so I just want to call it what it is for a minute. Sometimes in our hearts, it's sin. And so for me, when I first started posting about Plexus, I remember Megan had encouraged me to share it. I just had it. I felt like the Lord was just really laying it on my heart that this was something I needed to share and I needed to talk about it. And it was amazing. But going to put up that first post, I just remember being so fearful. And the thing that got me through and got me to go ahead and push post was the realization was that the fear I was feeling and I was dwelling on was all about me. It was all about me. It was. How am I going to feel when so-and-so comments something such and such that I make up, right? And that never happened. But anyway, it was all about me. And so for me, there have been so many times when I've recognized that, and that has been such a helpful thing to just take a deep breath and lay it before the Lord. And honestly, I've personally had to repent so many times, like, Lord, I'm so sorry. I've made this all about me. What I want it to be and what it is supposed to be is a ministry and a blessing to other people, right? So many people need this. And I think sometimes education is the answer to our fears, whether it's about network marketing, whether it's a fear, a lack of confidence in ourselves. Maybe it's a lack of belief in the products, but oftentimes when we're educated and we address those areas, the fears kind of melt away a little bit because that confidence is built. We're excited to share where our passion, like it grows, it explodes. We're excited to share, right? So a couple of other things I just wanted to say that have helped me. If you do not have a power partner, someone trusted in this business that you can go to, maybe a sideline sister, maybe she's on a different team, maybe she's on your team, regardless, someone that you trust that will encourage you. And this isn't like a negative, like, Susie, I don't want to post today, mama, right? It's not like that. It's like, Susie, I recognize I'm having this thought. It keeps happening. Can you pray with me? Like, I don't want to dwell on this. Let's do a scripture memorization of the truth. Let's change the thought, right? Someone that can hold you accountable, hold your hand maybe a little bit through those hard times. She's going to need it too, because we all need it, and help walk you through that. That's been huge for me. And I'll just say too, I think sometimes when we have fears, if we can't talk about them, they're all the worse. If we can talk about them with someone trusted and put a name on it, it really helps disarm its power over us. And that's true in so many areas of life, but it does really apply to Plexus. Okay. So who do you surround yourself with? There have been so many times when I've opened my social media and I've gone ahead and unfollowed or unfriended if I needed to, or whatever. Sometimes there are just people in social media that are very negative, or they're very whatever, right? Something that does not help you and does not maybe honor your intentions before the Lord, it's okay to not follow them. So sometimes you need to check in your social media, make sure the voices you're listening to, the trainings, the music, whatever it is building you up. Okay. That's helped me a lot. So one last thought I want to say too is just, these are just thoughts and we can allow them to have power over us. Sometimes we choose them because they're comfortable, right? We're used to them. They're familiar. They've gone through our brain a million times. They're comfortable. But when we recognize that, it can be really, really helpful. And somebody's unmuted. It can be really helpful just to recognize that, like, it's okay. That's just a thought. I don't have to walk with that thought, Oh, well, what a silly thought. I can be done with that now. You see what I'm saying? It's a choice. That's what it comes down to. It really, really is a choice. And the Lord is so gracious to help us and give his spirit. So I wanted to just say too, before I pass it off to Amy, I think sometimes I've been afraid a little bit of success or afraid of what's in the future. That's probably more what it is because it's unknown. This quote unquote, whatever I've termed as successful, whenever that happens in the future, whenever I get to that point or get to this spot in my life, am I going to be different? Is it going to change me? Is it going to change the way people view me? Again, there's no grace for tomorrow, guys. God gives grace. Okay. And when you're at tomorrow, he'll give grace for that day. So I just want to encourage you, success, however you define it, is what the Lord has you to walk in. Oh, I'm just like so choked up right now. Sorry. But God has good things for us to walk in, right? That's what Ephesians tells us. We are to walk in the good works that he has for us. And the good works are not holding back in fear. So take action. Don't be afraid of success. Be aware of the voices around you and who you're listening to so that you can honor God. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Amy, your turn.
Okay. Hi, guys. So I resonate with everything that you guys all shared. I walked through that with Lisa at church where, people asked us not to share, and we did honor. We said we won't ever, while we're at church, reach out to people. But if they come up to us, I'd love to talk with you about this. How about this afternoon or tomorrow or whatever? But there were specific times where people didn't like us. And so I think my overarching fear that I've had all through life is I want people to like me. I like everybody. I want people to like me. And so not so much fear of man, but like, I want you to like me. And so I have like this line in the sand memory of when I don't think I was Ruby yet. I think I was on my way to Ruby, and I was at church, and I was the director of hospitality at the time. So I'm flitting all around the lobby, and a guy comes up to me. We're good friends with him and his wife, and he's this loud, strong personality. And right in the middle of the lobby and in front of like lots of people, he's like, "Hey, Amy, I just want you to know I unfollowed you." And I was like, really? Okay. Why? And he's like, well, you keep posting about Plexus and it's trying to drive me crazy. So I unfollowed you. And then like a week later, I was like, well, I'm going to see if Amy's still posting about Plexus. Maybe I'll let her be my friend again. And nope, sure enough, you're still posting Plexus. So just so you know, I've unfollowed you. And I can remember that moment in my heart. Like it was this decision of like, is that going to hurt my feelings? Or am I just gonna almost like make light of it and be like, you know what, like this? And Kevin and I had a conversation later, and he was like, man, he's like, are you gonna be able to do this? Like, is this hard for you? That would be so hard for me. And I was then and there, I was like, this is my defined moment of he doesn't like what I'm writing about. He doesn't like me. And then I was like, you know what? I don't answer to Aaron Prill. I answer to the Lord, and I answer to my husband. And both of those, the Lord, he has not released me from this. And Kevin's like, if you can handle it, babe, go for it. And I'm like, rock on. So I said, Aaron Prill, you unblock me right now. I was like, you post about all kinds of things that I don't agree with and that I don't care about, politics, whatever. I don't care, but I like you and your family, and I don't block you. So unblock me right now. He's like, oh, okay, fine. And I was like, and just so you know, I'm going to continue posting about Plexus. So deal with it. Okay. And we kind of laughed and he unblocked me. And just last year, so I've been with this 7 years, just last year, he and his wife ordered Plexus from me. And I said, someday you're going to order from me, so in my mind, and I even bought myself a t-shirt, and I was going to wear it today, but I'm still a little cruise chubby because I ate so much on that stinking cruise, that says, but did you die? Okay. I literally had this shirt made for me because I was like, no. And even if he was like, sorry, I'm going to keep blocking you, I didn't die. Okay. One more story, because these are like defining things for me, where now I hashtag all the time, audience of one. And that's for me, because I, like what Lisa said, the Lord has not released me from this. And so I do it because I want to make my family, I want to help us be financially stable. I want my husband on this for life. I believe in the products. This allows me to be home with my babies. Like, this is something that I know that I'm still supposed to do. And so I answer to the Lord, audience of one, right? So one more story. My bestie, Rachel Anderson, who now runs with me, she was so mean to me when I first started Plexus. And so she sent me this scathing text message, and we laugh about it now and she feels really bad, but I teased Lisa. I don't think I was super mean to Lisa, but I did tease her relentlessly. But she was mean, scathing. She's like, you have changed. I am blocking you. You're obnoxious. I am so sick of what you're posting about, and you need to be done. And I was like, just so you know, I haven't changed. I still post about everything else that I always posted about: my kids, my family, hunting, homeschooling, my chickens, running, all the things. I've just added something else that I post about now. And just so you know, I want my husband on these products for life. You know how sick he's been. You've lived my life with me. We live in the same town. And so I'm not going to stop posting. So I guess you are going to have to block me. I'm sorry. Month later, she comes up to Lisa and I, will you guys pray for me? My stomach is so sick. I feel so sick. Both Lisa and I gave her the side eye, and we were like, you know what you need to do, right? And now she runs hard with me with Plexus. And so all of these things now, like Melody was talking about, changing your thought process. Like, now when someone's either mean to me or they're just a crazy skeptic or they're grouchy, I'm like, you're my person. And I can't wait for the day that you order some products from me. It's going to be so fun, because I was you. And I've had other people in my life like you, and it's okay. And maybe you never will. And maybe it'll take 7 years, but it's okay. I'm not going to die. We can still be besties. And I've changed my mindset in the sense that I kind of love helping to change the face of network marketing. I kind of love when people are like, network marketing's slimy, it's illegal. And I'm like, okay, but I'm messing with you, aren't I? Because you know that I'm not slimy. You know that I love Jesus. You know that I have integrity. So I'm messing with your mind a little bit, aren't I? And I like that. I like helping to change the face of the network marketing thing. And so I guess just one more thing I wanted to say is, what Melody was talking about, there's a scripture that says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So when we have these fears, when we have these lies, when we have these thoughts that aren't true, Jesus has done the work for us, right? And so how we overcome is we bring it to the light. And like what Melody was saying, when we speak our fears, when we voice the things that we're struggling with, then it loses its power. And then you can see it for what it is, and you can see it for it loses its power. And it's okay. Like Lisa said, it's okay to still be scared. It's okay to still be like, oh, I think I might offend somebody. But if your heart is right and you know it's what you're supposed to be sharing, then it's okay. And you're not going to die. You will not die. I promise you. And one more little fear that I have, which is a super pride issue for me and super hypocritical, is, Kevin and I were in full-time vocational ministry for like 20 years of our marriage. And just these past couple years, we are real estate agents, and he's a project manager for a tech company, and I do Plexus. And so it was easier for me when my full-time job was ministry and Plexus was like my side gig. And now that it's my main source of income, in my mind, what I've battled with is, because of where I've come from in the past, is it's not so godly. I want ministry. I want, like, this is not as whatever. And Justin was talking with us at convention, and he was saying to the Lord, he was saying how he was battling with the Lord, how he's like, I kind of wanted something a little more manly, but he's like, it's clear that this is what's for me. And it's clear that this is what's for me. And all of life is ministry. And we bring whoever we are, wherever we go. And so we're not defined. We're not defined by anything. We're not defined by our titles. We're not defined by our position. We're not defined by our paycheck. We're defined by who God says we are and what we bring wherever we go. And so that's our job. That's our job, is to show up in whatever capacity, as a wife, as a mom, as a Plexus ambassador, and whatever other jobs you have, as the best version of yourself, loving people well with highest integrity. And then you leave the details to the Lord. And that's where there can be so much joy, right? Like it's his. He can do with it whatever he wants. If he tells me to run harder, I'm going to run harder. If he tells me to walk away, you'd better walk away. And that's where there's peace, and that's where there's joy. And you leave it and you do the best with what you have, and you work hard, and you just run, and you run with your people. And so that's me preaching to myself all the time. But we'll always have fears, and it's okay. And that's why we're here for each other. And that's why we have team. And that's what makes this so much more beautiful than so many other jobs. We have each other to do this together with. Sorry, I talked too long. Angie, you're up, sister.
You never talk too long, friend. I'm just going to add to that. Just the tiniest little thing is that the platform that we have here, lest we not forget, Amy, it's much bigger than what's in the church. Like, I'm not taking away from that, but like, we have such a bigger platform. And so that's been one of the things that has helped encourage me. Okay. So as I was reading through the comments about our fears, several things stuck out to me, and it like they all kind of hone in together. So here's the big thing. I don't want to be that girl. Like, who hasn't said that? We all have said, we don't want to be that girl, or we don't want to be that guy, whatever. And here's where those things kind of all come together for me, is that if we're that girl, right? No one's going to listen to me. No one's going to follow me. No one's going to like me. No one's going to join my team. Like, who am I? But guys, first of all, I have to remember that I am the princess of the King of the universe. And so regardless of what people think or anything like that, like Amy said, like, we are answering to an audience of one. We are following the Lord. Majority of the people on this team are doing that. And so when we take that into perspective, and we know that we have this platform where we can share so much with others, what it has done for me, because all those things I feared. And sometimes when I tell people that, they're like, you're the life of the party. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. But literally, that was a way that I overcame my fears, was putting myself out there, because I was afraid that people would be like, she's that girl, or no one's going to follow me. No one's going to like me. When I started this business, I had very little activity on social media. I just wasn't there hardly at all. I shared a page with my husband. Nothing against that if that's what you do, but like, it was mainly him that was on there. No one's going to like me. No one's going to join me, all the things. And so I just decided I was going to go bigger and brighter and louder and longer. And so that is what I do. And I have to remind myself of that all the time, because we know the way that we can overcome things, anything in life, is by action. When I feel like I'm bloated or whatever, I get out and walk. Or when I feel like I need more time in the Word, what's the action? I get in the Word. When I feel like I need to do more with this business, I start posting and doing reels and doing all the things. So people are like, oh my gosh, she's getting on my nerves. And it's okay, because like, there's so many people out there who want to hear. And you've all probably heard this before. How does it go? So what? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone is waiting. And that is the thing that we have to keep in perspective, is that there's someone out there who's waiting to hear what we have to say, because it could be, or most likely will be, life-changing for them, either health-wise or financially. And so keep that in your perspective in all things. Okay. I'm just going to share with you guys really quickly that we are going to be doing a 2-week slim down. We don't have the official name yet, but it's coming up December 4th, I think, is the date that we decided that we were going to start that. And if you guys want to go take a peek at my Facebook wall, I just posted last night a little blurb, kind of like that. I'm looking for 6 friends, but it's just a little blurb about the 2-week challenge. Guys, I already have 20 some people who have messaged me and they want to be in this group. So the way I'm doing it, yes. So 2 things I want to caution you with. One, if you have not been interacting on your Facebook, or you have something there that people are commenting back and forth, do that first. Go put something up there that's going to be that's going to get some good commenting, and make sure that you're commenting back and forth and engaging with people. Because that's what's going to give your next post, like similar to the one I just posted, a lot of good interaction. So I did that. I personal messaged every single person. I gave them a little bit, just like a teaser, and I let them know that I'm doing a 15-minute messenger call. Like, I just decided to do this last night. I said, tomorrow night, meaning tonight, I'm doing a 15-minute messenger call. And do you want to be added to the group so that you can just get all the information and you can know what we're going to do? Every person except for one said no. And then we're going to have this 2-week challenge that's going to start on December 4th. So get in there, get the interaction going. And I had one more thought that I was going to throw out there real quick. Okay. Cold messaging. This is kind of a side note, but I feel like someone said this in the thing. Cold messaging is not cold messaging. If you are friends with someone on Facebook and you are interacting with them, you're asking questions, you're commenting, you're liking, you are not cold messaging them. They're seeing your stuff. They already know you do Plexus. It is not a cold message. Let's get rid of that verbiage, okay? It is not cold messaging when you are communicating back and forth to someone. Maybe you've never talked to them about Plexus, but they have seen that you are posting. So there you go. That's my tip for today.
Yes. So everybody needs to go take that action. Okay, so this is a tangible to-do and is going to help you bust through some of your fears. Some of you maybe don't post that often. So if you listen to the call, that's okay. You're going to start. All right. And so you're going to go post the same little post that Angie talked about. Okay. And this will be a great way to put boots on the ground, put your ideas into action. So I'm going to give us a couple of things to just throw a loop around all of this. There were so many different fears. And as I was reading through them, I was like, we could take each fear and drag it out of the suitcase and hold it up and talk about it, right? Or we can give you tools. And that's what this call is about. So you guys heard every one of these Jewel leaders on our team have had a plethora of fears. I personally, just like Lisa was talking about, and Melody, fear is like something that I have dealt with like my whole life. My mom would even tell you. It's been like an issue for me. And so hilarious how God gives us things in our life to break us out of the things that are uncomfortable to us, right? And things that don't feel natural. And so I had a mountain of fears to conquer. But one thing that I did when I look back, I addressed it fast. I just popped 2 videos in the comments. So go save those to the notes in your phone so you can listen to those. But Lori Harrison and Jessica Heffley, I listened to those calls on repeat, and it altered the thoughts in my head. And I took different action because I had different thoughts in my head. And while I had, some of these fears over here, like, oh my word, what are the people going to think? But I also was offering my brain this other thought of, I think that I'm going to have people come back and thank me for sharing Plexus with them. And so while I had my brain offering me one fearful thought, I also had my brain offering me another thought that was counteracting that other thought. And it's interesting to look back and see like my journey through conquering those fears, right? And so I want to encourage you guys to challenge your brain with new thoughts. Okay, I was gleaning as the girls were talking, there's cures for fear. And one of them was already talked about, and that is take action, right? And we have a tangible to-do to go post about this challenge group that we're doing. So you're going to take action and then put yourself in a position to be encouraged. Okay, and that's why we are hosting these Tuesday, Thursday opportunity calls. Tomorrow night, Justin's doing a men's health event. Thursday night, we have a business call. Like, those are for you to, one, plug your people in, but also, two, to build your own belief in the products that we have and the testimonies that are on our own Plexus team to help solidify your mindset. Like, this is legit. We are helping and serving people. Reminder, sales is serving. we are meeting needs for people. All right. And so I'm going to give you some equipment, some tools for your toolbox to help coach your mind. Okay. And some of you are familiar with this because we have taught on this for like 2 years in our group coachings. But it's the thought model called the CTFAR model. And it is basically a worldly system, a little model that helps us do what the scripture teaches, which is to take our thoughts captive. And it's a very simple little tool, but I feel like it's so incredibly helpful. So this in the acronym, the C stands for circumstances, T stands for thoughts. You can write this down. F stands for feelings, A stands for actions, and R stands for results. So quick reminder that our circumstances affect our thoughts, which affect our feelings, which affect our actions, which affect our results. And most people, like 99% of people, take action based on their thoughts and their feelings. And so what happens if our thoughts and feelings are just whatever comes across the scanner? Fearful, insecure, scared, like all of those thoughts that we have on a given day. Oops, my internet is unstable. Can you all hear me still? Hopefully. Most people don't take action based on those thoughts and feelings. It's a rare person that will act in spite of those things. Okay, so if that's you, congratulations. But I would encourage you to put new thoughts in your mind. Decide what feelings you want to be operating from. So I want you to actually do some homework as when this call is over. I actually want you to take, can someone pop the CTFIR in the chat for me real quick so that people that are taking notes can pop that down. I actually want you to decide, okay, this is a quote from my dad. He actually said it at church history, which is hilarious, but it's like, he's a coach. And so he shares this often. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. And so I want to challenge you guys to pre-decide what thoughts you want to be thinking and what feelings you want to be operating from. And I promise you, you will get different results because you are choosing intentionally what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be operating from. Okay. And here's a couple of reminders. You are in charge of your thoughts. They are not allowed, or you can disallow them to basically take up bandwidth, take up real estate in your brain just because they're there. You can tell them they're not allowed to hang out, right? You can tell them they're not allowed to take up your mental real estate where you're just kind of in spin cycle on these fearful thoughts. So a couple of things that help me is I will ask myself questions. Number one, is it true? I saw some of those fearful comments that aren't even true. All right. Number two, why is this a problem? I use this question often, like not even in Plexus, but just like coaching myself through different life things. Why is that a problem? Okay. Third question is, what is the worst thing or the best thing that can happen? Sometimes if you just think through the worst case scenario, it loses its power also. Like, what's the worst they could say? That they're not your friend anymore? Or if they say something that's hurtful, or that they say no and don't offer an explanation, then and you get your feelings hurt because someone said no and it's like a rejection, right? So ask yourself some of these questions. And then number four, this is a little bit more of a homework type thing, but drill down, like what is the root? If someone told you no, why is that a problem? They're not interested, but they might be at some point. But drill down, because maybe you have something that you've stuffed, like from childhood or something, like a rejection issue that you need to address with yourself and the Lord, right? Maybe there's some little root there that you need to like dig out and decide you're going to get rid of. Okay, this business exposes us. It exposes like crazy. And it's good. It is good to be exposed. It helps us in our spiritual maturity. It helps us in our personal growth, because we don't want to stay the same. We want to be in growth mode. We're not fixed mindset type people. We are in growth mode, which means it's going to be uncomfortable and we're going to have to do things that don't feel natural. But that's like with any entrepreneurial endeavor. If we want to make more income, if we want to serve more people, if we want to bless more people, we're going to have to do things that feel uncomfortable, at least for now. They're not probably always going to feel uncomfortable. So be okay with that. Couple scriptures, 2 Corinthians 10, 4 through 6. Take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Okay. So I'm giving these references so you can write them down. Another one is Psalm 1. Meditate on the word. That is the best thing that you can be meditating on. Meditate on the word. Another one is 2 Timothy 1:7, which says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And when we fear, reminder, it's a spirit of fear that we can command to leave. And when we are operating under that spirit of fear, we lose our power, our love, and our sound mind. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to be operating with power, with love, and with a sound mind. So Just wanted to encourage you guys with those things. I'm going to drop actually a recording. It's like 5 minutes where Brooke Castillo explains the CTFAR model. If this is new to you and you've never heard of it and you've never been on our Tuesday coachings, it can be literally life-changing for you to help yourself not be enslaved to the thoughts in your mind. Okay. So guys, I'm so thankful you all popped on, excited for all that's coming. Please stay tuned for all that we're offering to you guys. We will get the new group created and loaded. So those of you who are finished early with the list of 10 for this prep group, once you're qualified, then you can just go in the actual Maui Momentum group and start working on week 1 assignments. So proud of you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll see you all soon.